Hello, everyone. My name is Nassim Nimmer, and this is my project for the business level strategy. So let's dive in. The company that we're going to be looking at today is Kroger. So the contents of this presentation, they're going to contain a company overview, where I'll talk about a brief history and where the company is at today, as well as the business level strategy that I identified that Kroger is utilizing. So, just a quick overview on Kroger here. Kroger is headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was established in 1883 by a gentleman named Barney Kroger. He did so by literally investing his life savings of $372 into creating a very small grocery store in downtown Cincinnati. Mr. Kroger took two measures to differentiate his business amongst the competitors, and that was to actually install bakeries within each grocery store, as well as meat and seafood shops. This strategy was to promote quality and reduce costs as they would be in-house versus purchased from a third-party supplier. So Kroger's growth, um, has been substantial over the years, but is largely attributed to many mergers and acquisitions. In 1983, Kroger merged with Dillon Companies, and in 1999, they merged with Fred Meyer Inc. So this merger right here costed Kroger $13 billion in one transaction. However, it allowed Kroger to enjoy the broadest geographic coverage and offer the widest varieties in the food retailing industry, as well as growing mass economies of scale in the fields of purchasing, manufacturing, information systems, as well as logistics. So, this gave Kroger a competitive edge over much of its competition just from this merger in 1999. Later in 2014, they merged with Harris Teeter as well as Vistacast.com. Now, Vistacast.com enabled the birth of the digital ordering, that whole online presence. So it brought Kroger into that play on that front right there. And then later in 2015, they acquired Roundy's in Wisconsin, which had over 200 locations to add to Kroger's portfolio. So, Kroger today. Currently, Kroger owns and operates 2,750 retail locations, in addition to 35 production and manufacturing facilities, 1,585 fuel centers, 2,256 pharmacies, as well as 170 fine jewelry stores that operate under Fred Meyer Jewelers and Littman Jewelers. This was actually the most surprising thing for me to learn during this case is that Kroger owns jewelry stores. I would have never guessed that, but it does play into their strategy. So it does actually look like a pretty good move. Currently, Kroger is a publicly traded company listed on the NASDAQ, and currently the price per share is at $35.46, with 757 million shares currently outstanding. Kroger brings in about $130.65 billion a year in annual revenues and employs a rough estimate of 431,000 associates. So, the leadership structure of Kroger. There is a gentleman, Rodney McMullen, who was elected as the CEO in January 1st of 2014, and then later the chairman of the board on January 1st of 2015. He currently serves in both capacities today. There are 13 total senior management members and 11 total board of directors members that they report to. The current competitors that are, that go against Kroger, and this is throughout the U.S. In the different states. We'll look at like Dollar General, Rite Aid, Amazon, who's pretty much a competitor to everybody, Target, who's there on the differentiated side with the upper level products, and then Costco and Walmart, which are there as the cost leadership leaders. And then you have Sprouts, Farmers Markets, Publix, and Albertsons, which these three, I believe, are found predominantly in the South. Yeah. Excuse me. So, Kroger's strategy. So Kroger serves a broad market of consumers. Kroger has low prices relative to its industry. However, their prices are not the lowest. Products range, they range from nationally recognized brands to private label brands, all the way to in-house Kroger branded and Kroger produced products that Kroger produces in-house. Excuse me. Taking all of these into account, I have identified that Kroger's strategy is an integrated cost leadership slash differentiation strategy. So taking the, you know, wide variety of products, higher quality, putting them at the lower cost. That's what I feel would be best to identify Kroger as. However, Kroger also markets itself as a one-stop shop strategy, in where it allows its shoppers to enjoy, you know, having to only stop at one location for all of their shopping needs. So, how does Kroger implement this strategy? Through three ways, actually. Different retail location formats, differentiated products at low costs, and lastly, technological advancements. So we'll take a look at each one of these very briefly and identify them. So when looking at the different retail location formats, it's best to just look at these as the types of stores Kroger offers, right? So we have the first one, supermarkets, price impact warehouse stores, which are very similar to like Costco and Sam's Club, seamless digital shopping options, where individuals can shop online, pick up curbside. I know this has been something that has been phenomenal during the COVID pandemic. And then multi-department stores, which are ones that we're all very familiar with. It's also important to keep in mind that when looking at the market, Kroger is able to attract shoppers from multiple different segments of the market with these different floor layouts, as they attract different shoppers. The differentiated products at low cost. So it's able to offer these differentiated products at low costs. First, they own their own production and manufacturing facilities, 35 total to be exact. So these facilities provide higher value products to the clients at lower cost to them as well, that Kroger passes along, thus yielding higher margins. So greater product quality, lower cost to Kroger, to produce, lower cost to the customer to buy, still a very nice margin there for Kroger to remain profitable. So this one is definitely a good way for them to do that as well. At these facilities, they produce products such as bread, cookies, milk, soda pop, ice cream, and peanut butter. 40% of the private label items found in Kroger stores are actually produced at one of these facilities, and it's estimated that 26% of Kroger dollars are actually attributed to its private brands. So a little more than a quarter of the money that it brings in are Kroger made products, and that is fantastic. Now, um, Kroger does have a very economic three-tier distribution system where it hauls the majority of its merchandise, equipment, and supplies itself. With that, a major component of that is they own one of the privately largest privately owned truck fleets in the United States. Um, that log in about 325 million miles annually. The one-stop shop strategy is really put to the test here and really highlights how efficiently they do that. So they offer 2,256 pharmacies, 1,585 fuel centers, and 170 jewelry stores. Now, the pharmacies and fuel centers, you know, take care of two very main important errands, I would say, that individuals have to accomplish before returning home or while they're grocery shopping. Picking up your meds and filling up your gas. Two very important things that a shopper can do while at Kroger. So they are added there. And to put the cherry on top, when you spend money at Kroger, you get points under your account. You are allowed to use these points as discounts to take off from your total balance from these pharmacies or fuel centers. Now, you also get a discounted price for being a member, so it's kind of a double savings there. Now, the jewelry stores is an extremely high margin business for Kroger and provides them with a higher cash flow. I was very surprised when I found out when I learned that Kroger owns jewelry stores, but it was actually really interesting as they also offer these points to be utilized towards these jewelry purchases uh, for savings for their shoppers. And it was if you look at like all the products offered by Kroger, they're all lower end, higher quality slash low price. However, now we're jumping into fine jewelry. I feel like Kroger is allowing, its shoppers to still enjoy the finer products while getting that Kroger value of lower prices. So, which is pretty amazing. So, technological advancements are nothing new when it comes to Kroger. In the 1930s, shortly after, not too long after it was first created, Kroger became the very first grocery store chain to monitor product quality and actually scientifically test foods. So I know this is something that is preached heavily by Whole Foods, and actually one of the things that made them, really famous. But Kroger has been doing something like this since the 1930s. Uh, and a major event in the 80s was Kroger installed and tested the very first electronic scanner. And that, as you know now, in any store, that's just basic requirements of technology. So it's really funny how, they were the first to do several of these things. In most recent years, they have spent a lot of R&D dollars and time in establishing Q Vision, which serves as a much faster checkout program that just allows shoppers to breeze through checkout. A good way to measure this is back in 2010, the wait time to checkout was roughly 4 minutes. Currently, right now with Q Vision, it's less than 30 seconds for a customer to check out, and this is today's time. Lastly, they take technological advancements into their sustainability efforts. And in this one, they really want to do their part and own up to their social responsibility, especially in the times we live in today. Um, so, under this category, what they did was they spent some time, and created a process that can quickly and effectively rescue fresh food products every single day and allow them to actually donate them much quickly, like very quickly, to local food banks, so they can then be distributed out to the less fortunate and the hungry. Uh, After the implementation of this initiative, many other grocery store chains and food retailers have actually adapted this same process, and they actually carry out the same initiative by adapting it, and that's how they donate to food banks and the less fortunate as well. Over here, I have a list of the references, and thank you for your time. And I look forward to receiving your feedback and answering any questions you may have. Thank you, and have a great day.